Welcome to the only RealWear Navigator 520 review that will show you the brutal problems you must know about before you even think of buying. This rugged headset promises to change how you work, but here's what surprised me. It can just as easily stop you from working at all. Therefore, before you spend thousands on this industrial AR device, stick with me. For the best price, click the link in the description. Now you're probably here because you've seen the slick demos. Workers in hard hats viewing schematics, experts getting remote assistance, a truly hands-free computing revolution. That promise is what RealWear is selling, and in many ways it delivers. But a tool this complex doesn't exist in a marketing vacuum. It exists on your sweaty, hard-hatted head, on a noisy factory floor, and that is where the story gets messy. So let's deep dive into the reality, not just the render. First, the unboxing and initial setup feel fantastic. You get the rugged headset itself, a surprisingly comfortable modular headband system, and all the cables. The build quality screams industrial grade. It feels like it could survive a fall from a scissor lift and maybe even win the fight. But therefore, the first joke. This thing is so rugged, it probably has a side hustle as a doorstop on a submarine. The problem is, once you power it on, you're not greeted by a sleek, intuitive interface. You're greeted by Android, a very specific lockdown version of it. And this is our first major problem gate. The Navigator 520 runs what RealWear calls a purpose-built Android OS. In practice, this means it's designed for one thing: running their specific suite of enterprise apps for remote collaboration, document viewing, and workflow management. That's its strength. Therefore, if you want to just sideload your favorite Android game or check Instagram, forget it. This isn't a consumer device. But here's the twist. Even within its intended purpose, the interface can feel clunky. The voice control system, which is your primary way of interacting, requires very specific memorized commands. Speaking of voice control, let's talk about the microphone and noise. The promotional videos show someone whispering commands next to a jet engine. In reality, the noise cancellation is good, but it's not magic. On a genuinely loud construction site or factory floor, you will find yourself shouting a lot, and the person on the other end of your remote assist call might still struggle to hear you. That's a critical flaw for a device whose core function is communication. But therefore, the promise of seamless hands-free operation hits its first real-world snag. You have hands-free operation, but only if you're willing to sound like you're calling from inside a tornado. Now let's talk about the display, the very thing you're looking at. RealWear uses a monocular display that sits in front of your right eye. The technology is clever. It's like a transparent 7-inch screen floating in your vision. The image is bright and can be seen even in direct sunlight, which is a huge technical win. But here's the problem that many users report, and it's a deal-breaker for some: eye strain and focus fatigue. Your brain is constantly trying to reconcile two different focal planes, the world in front of you and the screen hovering in your peripheral vision. It can cause headaches, especially during prolonged use. Think of it like this. You're trying to read a book held up in your periphery while also watching a movie on the main screen. Your optic nerves start filing union grievances. That's the second joke, by the way. Therefore, while the display is a marvel of engineering, its human factors are its Achilles heel. For some users, they adapt quickly. For others, it's a constant, nagging discomfort that makes an 8-hour shift feel like a marathon. Let's move to battery life, the lifeblood of any mobile device. RealWear claims up to 8 hours, which is respectable. But in real-world use, with the screen at full brightness, Wi-Fi or 4G LTE running, and making video calls, you'll be lucky to get 5 to 6 hours. That means for a full workday, you need a charging plan. It comes with a hot swappable battery, which is fantastic. But therefore, you're now managing batteries like a camera crew. Lose your spare, and your $3,000 headset becomes a very expensive paperweight by lunch. And then there's the software ecosystem, which is a double-edged sword. The secure, managed environment is perfect for IT departments in large corporations like Boeing or Mercedes-Benz, who are RealWear's core customers. They can deploy custom apps and control everything. But for the smaller business owner or independent contractor, you're at the mercy of the RealWear app marketplace. It's not the Google Play Store. The selection is limited to enterprise-focused tools. Therefore, the device's flexibility is directly tied to your company's willingness to develop for it or pay for specialized software. It's not a general-purpose computer you can make do anything. This brings us to the top complaints from actual Amazon reviews. Users praise its ruggedness and the concept. But the recurring themes in the critical reviews are exactly what we're covering. The steep learning curve for voice commands, the occasional software glitch that requires a reboot, and the eye fatigue. One reviewer called it frustratingly brilliant, which sums it up perfectly. It's solving a hard problem, but therefore introducing a new set of hard problems for the user. It's like having a genius assistant who only speaks in cryptic riddles. That's joke number 3. Now, after all this doom and gloom, you might be thinking I'm telling you to run for the hills. That's the contrarian snapback. Here's the truth. For its specific intended use case, the RealWear Navigator 520 is still arguably the best in the world. If you are a large industrial company implementing a digital transformation strategy for field technicians, this device is a game changer. The ability to pull up PDF manuals, get live video support from an expert thousands of miles away, and document work with photos and notes, all without ever putting down your tools, is transformative. Therefore, the resolution to this review isn't a simple don't buy. It's a qualified buy only if. If your problems are complex industrial workflow problems, the Navigator 520's problems become manageable hurdles. The eye strain, users adapt. The voice commands, they become second nature. The software limits, they ensure security and reliability. For that massive aerospace assembly, complex machinery repair, or hazardous environment inspection, this device pays for itself by reducing errors, downtime, and the need for specialists to travel. So should you buy it? If you're a consumer looking for cool AR glasses, absolutely not. This isn't for you. It's the fourth and final joke to even think that. But if you're a business decision maker looking to empower your frontline workers with the most rugged, enterprise-ready hands-free computer on the market, then the RealWear Navigator 520, with all its quirks, is in a league of its own. Therefore, my final advice is this: understand the commitment. This isn't a plug-and-play gadget. It's a system that requires training and a clear use case. But for that right use case, it's revolutionary. To check the current price and see if it's the right tool for your industrial revolution, click the link in the description below.